Realmstrider, right on time. Been expecting you. Oh, terrace is chilly in this wind. Come inside. Got it all warm. Come right on in. There we are. Welcome. Welcome to Fear. I know how you must be feeling. Teleporting always gives me the spins. Please, have a seat. I'll give you the good chair here. Best view in the house. You like those cushions? Stuffed drake belly. Very soft and cushiony. Love the texture. Like fuzz on a newborn bunny. Hard to clean, though. Well, we won't spill anything. Oh, try and keep your eyes open. Maybe focus on that peak on the horizon through the window there. You'll straighten out before you know it. That's Mount Grover, by the way. You should visit the observatory when you get a chance. Well worth your time, even just as a side quest. But there's no rush. Relax. Take a load off, if you will. Name's Ymaros. Yourself? Well then, pleased to make your acquaintance. I'll be warranting you for the next little while. Oh, hang on. Got some notes around here somewhere. Sorry. Thought I was all ready. Help yourself to some mana fruit cake, by the way. Fresh this morning. People from your world tell me mana fruit tastes like pineapple, but I wouldn't know. Never been there. On my list, though. If you're what we call manic, mana fruit will stimulate your manic. If you're what we call manic, mana fruit will stimulate your magical energy output. You'll know it's working if your eyes go icy hot and you can see my aura. Don't worry, though. It's a pleasant feeling. And if you're not manic, hey, cake's cake. You know what I mean? Actually, I think I'll have a piece, too. Oh, thank you very much. Good. Good stuff. All right, my notes. This is Fear. Well, dang. I said that already. Anyway, Fear's my realm. I mean, I didn't create it, and I don't own it by any means, but I've been here long enough to know it just about better than anyone, I'd say. So I got my notes here. Oh, that'll be the kettle. Hang on. No, don't get up. I'll be right back. Breathe deep and keep your eyes on the summit. Good life advice there, by the way. Keep your eyes on the summit. Just came up with that. Look at those clouds flowing away like rivers of wool or something. Guess I'm not a poet. And here we are. Cup of Gin Channel ought to perk you right up. Give you a bonus to memory checks for the rest of the encounter, too. What's not to love? Let the porcelain warm your hands. Inhale the citrusy aroma as it cools. Invigorating, is it not? You know what they say? Jin Chan portends strangers turn friends. Oh, actually, you probably didn't know that. You didn't know they say that, did you? Well, now you do. All right. So, where to begin? Me? Yeah, that's a long story. Anyway, most of it won't make sense until later. Oh, I'm Huven, if that's what you were asking, in case you couldn't tell. Huven? Oh, I see. Well, I'll back up a little then. Huvens are magical people who look a lot like humans. Human and Huven are pronounced exactly alike, in fact, except for the V. Oh, I didn't mean to imply, don't get me wrong, humans can be magical too, you know, in their own way. In many ways, in fact. Great people, humans. But Huvens are magic in a very specific way. At least, some of us are. The manics among us generate mana, like psychic electricity. And for that, the weavers let us stay in their points of order. Soaring cities woven of golden filaments that comprise the manically resonant tapestry we call the mana web. Oh, mana web? Well, you'll get a better sense of that by experiencing it yourself. You'll need a complete manic certification, though, before you interface for the first time. It's a 6-hour course, and it's all in one day, but they give you lunch. It's no big deal. They try to make it fun. I'd do that first chance you get if I were you. It's foundational. First thing you'll probably notice once you get out and about is all the kids running around. Well, don't be fooled. A lot of them are pretty old. Humans can stay like that for their entire lives, in fact. Only the ones who leave the comfort and safety of their spawn point and venture into the deadly outside ever truly reach adulthood. Of course, a human only leaves if they're afflicted by some kind of insanity that most can't begin to imagine. Well, not to leave you in suspense, as you can see from my weathered countenance, I myself am no stranger to this affliction. At least I've been told that I wear it well. Remarkably well preserved, someone said the other day. Let's see what's next. Ah, weavers. Weavers are... well, opinions differ, but the common line is they're friendly, fluffy, spidery, benevolent caretakers, spinning their golden mana web into anything we ask of them. Clothes, furniture, artwork, sporting goods, whatever we need. Or rather, whatever we want. There is no need in a point of order. You see, needs can be fulfilled, but desires are only inflamed. And the flames of human desire are what release the mana that weavers subsist upon and savor. Mana Web, you'll soon discover, also lets us link our minds and channel manic energy between points of order to put to use in the outside. This manic energy is the psychic lifeblood of our civilization. It powers our mana-tech infrastructure, facilitates administrative world spell casting, and supports combat operations, a bunch of other stuff. You might have guessed by now, Mana Web's what lets us play the game of survival at such a high level. Work together or die alone, as the Magisters say. On a plane like Fear, where you're never more than a day's hike from something that could put an end to you and everything you've ever known, efficient cooperation is the difference between existence and, well, the opposite. Oh, not trying to scare you. Meadowvale's the safest county in Caspia. Almost boring at times. You'll probably never come back here once you get a taste of real adventure. Anyways, you're a Realmstrider, so you can always shift back to your homeworld if things get too... What? What is it? Ah, you saw the map. Pretty hard to miss, I guess. That's Mana Weave, believe it or not. I paid a weaver to come out and make it right there where it stands. Crawled wall to wall, floor to ceiling, nonstop for a month. Never even took a break. Amazing creatures, weavers, all things considered. Cost me a lot of karma. Worth it, though. So intricate. Looks hand-painted, doesn't it? Talk about a conversation piece. Colors, lines, textures, labels, and seeds of adventure. Good map's a treasure like no other. So, there in the middle, you can see the subcontinent of Euronia. Those double white lines show you the lands of Humanity. Human lands comprise a big chunk of Euronia and some of Cathector. There's even some colonies scattered around on foreign shores. All seems so small at that scale, though, don't you think? Here, let me tell you something. Weavers will tell you our world is a planet hanging lonesome in an inky void. That everything's already been claimed, classified, processed, and packaged. Nothing left to find, nowhere left to explore. Kind of like yours, I hear. They say the only thing we ever need to do is just stay at home, suck down the free mana fruit juice, snuggle up in our cocoons, and partake in the wonders of ultimate reality, which anyone will tell you is better today than it's ever been. But that's not true. Oh, I mean, I'll be the first to admit ultimate reality lenscasts are pretty darn good these days. That part's true. Although, if you ask me, nothing will ever be as good as the show I used to cast. Part travelogue, part... well, it's hard to categorize. Won some awards. For editing, but still, fairly popular at the time. Had my face plastered on everything you could imagine. Mugs, shirts, posters. This one lady tattooed my name on her... well, maybe I'll show you an episode before you venture off. But I was talking about cosmology. See, our world is actually flat. It's nothing like a marble floating in an inky void. It's more like a conglomeration of sprawling, quicksilvery islands. They quiver uneasily on the endless gank sea of the Elenaria, the primal chaos. You mess with that chaos too much, you're looking at the spawning of colossal, all-consuming Ellen horrors that can devour entire civilizations. That happens more often than you think, actually. But we're still standing. Hear the frothing chaos howl, still our walls defiant stand. Oh, that one's from a song. I didn't come up with that one. I love that. Hear the frothing chaos howl. And that's just the translation. Original's way better. Actually, that line is an allegorical, or, I guess it'd be an allusion to the, you know what? Never mind. Not relevant. Frothing chaos. Wow. Anyway, to be fair, Weavers aren't really lying about Fear being a planet like yours. They just don't have the grammar for past and future. Everything is a resonating present moment for them. I guess the mind of a species that spins webs is more oriented towards perceiving connections than distinctions. I don't really know. I'm not a psychologist either. Truth is, fear may well be on its way to spawning an orb like the one weavers describe us as, a celestial sphere, as the Magisters call it. You see, during the heyday of human civilization, great heroes brought back the mind gold of dragons, rival empires, and even fallen netherbright civilizations. Their treasures, their treasuries in the points of order became so dense, the magical gravity began condensing human territory into a low, dome-like protrusion which now rises noticeably above the rest of Fear. If our Emperor Gordon Yalzer, all mana to him, can keep his grasp on the horns of Matia, Mother Dragon of Chaos, long enough, Euronia will one day coalesce into a perfect order, and, in an ecstatic ascension, heave itself away from its neighboring continents, cascading upwards out of the sea of chaos, finally free to soar bravely into forever. We humans shall cry out triumphant as our world pierces the veil, emerging at last a free realm, master of our own destiny, and set sail through the outer realms of the great beyond for all eternity. Sorry. Pardon me. I'm sorry. I always get emotional at that part. It's just such a lovely image. I'll take a tissue, actually, just there beside you. Thank you. Must have had too much Jin-Chan while I was waiting for you. That stuff goes from invigorating to overwhelming pretty quick. It's all right. I'm all right. Now. Right. The Outer Realms. Problem is, and not many people know this, by the way, which is why I'm the one who does the orienting, but the Outer Realms are already populated, and not all the inhabitants are benevolent. In the worlds beyond, xenophobia seems to be powerfully correlated with civilizational survival. A paranoid race of psychics who call themselves Corians have been observing us for generations. They've been using the information they've gathered to run simulations over and over, non-stop, incessantly, for generations. And what did they foresee? You guessed it, the ascension of humanity. And naturally, they made a plan to stop it. Now, with the Great Dwarven Rebellion finally put to rest, their plan has entered its critical phase. Corians, however, can only see the overworld of the realms they observe. They can't take into consideration what lies buried below the surface. And luckily for those few humans who still dare to call themselves heroes, something very important has remained buried under Hidden Hill long enough to have escaped the notice of Corian observers. And just this morning, this long-lost something began to stir. And as it stirs, it sighs, half-conscious, in a voice that only mystics can hear. Awaken me, it breathes. And once again it sighs. Awaken me. Now, our audience, preparing for a bit of light entertainment, remains unaware of all you have learned. They are as ignorant of my world as you were when you haloed onto my balcony earlier today. Unlike them, you've chosen to come and walk this world for yourself. The audience will only experience fear from a distance, in a narrative format that they can step away from at any moment. They will not be immersed as you will. You've chosen wisely, my new friend. I assure you of that. Observe now as the viewer selects a palm-sized disc, circular and silvery, takes it between thumb and forefinger, and places it deftly upon the lens before them. Watch it spin up in a prismatic display as it calibrates. Watch it spin up in a prismatic spray as it calibrates. See the bubble of light swell before them, the illumination forming a globe that expands until it fills the room with its intricate patterns. Now, gaze upon a new world as the room all around resolves into the ultimate reality lens cast stored on the disc. At last, behold, our adventure begins. Colors bloom, and we're face to face with a young boy, his blue-white eyes focused intently at us? No, through us, at something beyond us. He is part Mon, a Dwarven, in fact, but he bears little sign of his wolf ancestry. He appears nearly human, except for his furry white ears, erect atop his head, focused, like his eyes, at something far away that we cannot sense. Without a narrator, the audience can't be sure, but they assume this Dwarven boy heard something, and that the other Monven children staring at him did not. His brows furrow. He tilts his nose up to inhale and exhale in quick succession. Then again, and once more. Finally, his ears relax. He shakes his head lightly, and his friends pull him back into the melee of recess. The shouts and laughter of children rise under a foreboding musical theme. Gently, we begin floating upward, away from this schoolyard in the pastoral countryside. After a few pleasant moments, we have reached a nice altitude for observation, high above the tree line. Now, our perspective begins very slowly to rotate, and we drink in the vistas of the land of Kyle. Here before us are maze-like manna fruit fields, humming and glowing with magical potency, where bands of brave warriors battle monstrous bugs that threaten the vital crop. There now is Kyle City, local point of order, high above the central plain, its soaring towers resplendent with golden light, bright as any sun. There, off the northern coast, see the colossal sea creatures thrashing their way through the churning wild-water sea. Beyond crystal walls encompassing primordial terrain, see one of 5 noble dragon slayers of Kyle sally forth from his palace to survey his vast estate. And there, see them? Magical wild things. Monsters and gangsters and drakklings, oh my! They stalk and cavort in a dense forest preserve. Finally, our motion slows and stops. We've completed half a turn. Now we face the direction the boy was looking so intently. Heavy black skies on the horizon cast shadows over the verdant wilds in the far distance. The jungle writhes and buckles, silently racked by vicious storms of pure chaos beyond our range of hearing. Within the chaos, a form is discernible for the briefest of moments. Was that a dragon? A title effervesces unobtrusively in the middle distance, accompanied by soaring music. Redden's Quest. And beneath it, in smaller letters, From Littleville to Hidden Hill. The world around us swells to white, and the score threatens to drown out all thought. Then, all snaps to black. Silence resounds. Well, that's about it for me. Been a real pleasure. Hope our paths cross and so on. Oh, be sure to loot the chest by the door downstairs. I keep it well stocked. Swords and shields and snacks and such. Take what you like, leave what you don't. Can't quest empty-handed, you know. All right. Well, all right. Real nice talking with you. Wish you best of luck. And as we say around here, may the Horn of Gordon guide you on your quest. Now, go find yourself a dragon to slay.